and we caught the bloody British in a town in New Orleans. We fired our guns and the British kept a coming.
We have to understand that the human community is under scientific, diabolical attack. And we have to huddle together and educate our neighbors like our lives depend on it. We have to love each other. We have to just do little things like newsletters and posting flyers and calling into talk radio and just be vocal until the crescendo rises and people discover the psychopathic empire. Again, I'm not afraid of being set up or destroyed or lied about in all the hatchet jobs, except that I am now a symbol, a leader. And I've not been perfect in everything I've done. And they can cobble it together and twist it. And so because I am this symbol of resistance and liberty, one of the main symbols worldwide now, and they see our growth and understand what we're doing, just understand, folks, we are under dramatic, sustained attack from all sides. COINTELPRO, you name it. Very dangerous groups in Austin operating. And if you give in to the COINTELPRO and cover it, then that gives them the power. If you sue them, that then ties you up. But it's so massive. It's so huge. But if we simply activate and realize just how bad it is and start educating others, we can stop them. We are the priest of power, O'Brien said to Winston. God is power. This is before they'd broken Winston. O'Brien, while torturing him, we are the priest of power, Winston. God is power. But at present, power is only a word so far as you are concerned. It is time for you to gather some idea of what power means. The first thing you must realize is that power is collective. The individual only has power insofar as he ceases to be an individual. You know the party slogan, freedom is slavery. Has it ever occurred to you that it is reversible? Slavery is freedom. Alone, free, the human being is always defeated. It must be so, because every human being is doomed to die, which is the greatest of all failures. But if he can make complete, utter submission, as the globalists have done to their cult, their psycho power cult, it has, if he can escape from his identity, if he can merge himself in the party so that the party, and that he is the party, then he is all-powerful and immortal. The second thing for you to realize is that power is power over human beings, over the body, but above all, over mind. Power over matter. External reality, as you would call it, is not important. Already, our control over matter is absolute because they believe in perception, he goes on to say. The lie that perception is reality. If you're hallucinating on PCP and jump off a 100-story balcony window and you believe you're flying and you're a butterfly, it's not real. When you hit the concrete, reality comes. But they're saying no. We can have Americans say ban free speech. It's freedom. We can say shut down the gun show. It's freedom. We can say kill 1 million Iraqis. It's freedom. Notice how they're obsessed with controlling the weather. The White House science czar gives speeches about how they're manipulating the weather. And then you talk to reporters and they can't even fathom it because Big Brother separately said, this doesn't exist, but we're doing it. 2 + 2 = 5. And I say no. Freedom is the power to say 2 + 2 = 4. Monsanto does know that their corn is attacking people's organs. They do know it kills the lab animals. People must face that. They must face it's premeditated. It is known. Everything they're doing is by design. Richard Reeves is scheduled to be in studio with us in 30 minutes. If you question the Big Brother level of fraud, look at how the UN has now been forced to admit they've been engaged in premeditated fraud on ClimateGate, on the Himalayas, on the temperature readings across the planet. UN documents have been released the last 3 months we've covered here on air, where they organized scores of key universities worldwide to collate the data, create the fraud. They say in the documents that these are fellow travelers for world government. I mean, this is a cult of control freaks that want to run your life. want to control your speech, disarm you, herd you into compact cities. Look at how their fraud on the flu shot has been exposed. Look at how it's now come out. I mean, how dumb did they think you were? Sure, one big group of the population will buy anything, but others don't now. That's the good news. There is hope. We're not in this total 1984 society yet, but we've got to fight and struggle against it now. And 90% of the battle, as the Pentagon says, or as O'Brien, the fictional Big Brother enforcer, would say, all of it is in the mind. Because they're selling a lie. When CBS News locally tells you mercury is good for your children's brains, I mean, can you imagine O'Brien? He's saying, Winston, you must agree that 2 + 2 = 5. And Winston's like, no. And then later he tortures him. He says, okay, 2 + 2 = 5. I agree with you. He said, no, you don't really believe it. He tortures him for months more. His teeth all fall out. And he stands him up and says, look at you. Look how apathetic you are. He tortures him some more. And then Winston sees the 2 fingers merge into 5. He sees the groups of 2 fingers merge into 5. It is 5. Mercury is good for me. Monsanto doesn't want to hurt me. Monsanto, okay, sure, it's killing me, but we can't talk about it or do anything about it because, that would be unfriendly towards Monsanto. They might come after me. They might sue me if I read the official medical studies on it and tell people. That is 2 + 2 = 5. And people do it every day, going, oh, yes, I think we should ban free speech. Oh, yes, I think we should ban guns. Well, that's not in the Constitution. See, they start out with equations that are more complex, like, well, does 997 plus 1,422 come up to this number? And it's a wrong number, but you're lazy and go, I'll just believe it's whatever you say it is. And then pretty soon they say 2 + 2 does not equal 4, it equals 5, or 10 or 20 or whatever we say. And so they're practicing that lie on you. To come out and say, here's the fact sheet we're going to give you that the feds wrote up at the school or the government building or at the pharmacy. And here's a little fact sheet. It has no mercury in it. We've shown you these over and over again, side by side. Doesn't cause any problems, doesn't have any neurological disorders, can't hurt you. And then you actually get the insert, and it admits all the bad things it can do to you. See, they think you're so stupid. They're bold. They're bold. Now, there is still time to change this. Several TV stations, I saw the newscast on YouTube, ran pieces that were 90% truth last night. CBS, and the reporter came over and said, I'm a listener. He was he was real. And he was like, okay, fine, let us try to get it right. And they got it pretty close. So, see, they weren't evil and diabolical. They were just going with the peer pressure of the ATF and the Austin Police Department. And that's what the guy said. He said, we just reported what they told us, Alex. But, see, you didn't go look it up. They even said on the news, Alex claims this is the federal law, as I read it on air. But at least they did that, that there is no, that the law is you can have private sale of firearms. We turned them around because I screamed at them. I went and got in their face and rebuked them. I didn't sit up there in a little beauty pageant, barely talking on a megaphone where nobody could hear, No, I was there to wage war on fraud, wage war on lies. I was there to psychically assault them with the truth.